Hello and welcome to Low Budget Gaming and welcome to a GOG sales video. So with the Steam Halloween sale coming up, I thought I'll pick out some games that are unlikely to go lower during any upcoming sale. And of course, with GOG, I don't have to worry about the regional prices going up or something because they don't have regional pricing. So anyway, I've picked out some good games and classics that you should consider, some very cheap as well. So let's begin first with Dragon's Dogma Dark Arisen. So this is a fantasy RPG, sort of like Skyrim. If you've played Skyrim, you want something else similar, I guess. This is made by Capcom. It always goes down to the same price, 84% off, $479. So here it is. It has a very interesting companion system, and that is like one of the standout things. And it's a decent game. First came out on PlayStation 3, was exclusive to PlayStation 3, then got ported to PC. So definitely worth grabbing. It's not too expensive, and yeah, it's a pretty decent game. There is a sequel announced, but we have no idea when it's coming out. We've only seen very little teaser information. So $479, 84% off. Of course, all the stuff on GOG is DRM free. You can download it directly without the need for a launcher, play it offline, no de novo nonsense, and you own the game basically. Next is Fear Platinum. So another fantastic series of FPS games from the mid 2000s. This first one was from the mid 2000s, and this is on its lowest price that I've seen, 88% off, $1.19. And this is a very good game. The enemy AI is very good. Plus, it's got all the expansions here. So base game, then we have Extraction Point, Perseus Mandate, all of that included for only $1.19. And this era of game is something that I really like. The FPS games had decent stories and campaigns, and they had decent length to the campaigns, and graphically they still hold up. I feel around mid 2000s to around 2010 12, this period was really good for these style of FPS games. So this is 88% off, $119. The second game is also on a good sale, a little more expensive, but it is here, 75% off, $374. This came out a little later in 2009. These games are made by Monolith. Monolith are the people who made the Shadow of War and Shadow of Mordor games recently. So they are a good company. They make really good games. So this is the sequel to this game. The third one I felt like wasn't that well received, but that is also here. I've only mentioned the first two games here. So this one has the base game plus Fear 2 Reborn. So yeah, again, very good survival FPS style game. Next is of course the popular Sleeping Dogs Definitive Edition, 85% off. So basically a GTA style game set in Hong Kong, and you play as like a police officer undercover. This game I would recommend playing with the controller. So a lot of people who don't use controllers on PC, I know a lot of people in India just play with keyboard and mouse. You may not get good value out of it if you play just on keyboard and mouse. So if you have a controller, any controller, cheap controller, you'll get a lot more entertainment out of this. I've seen people pick up this game after hearing about it and then drop it because they couldn't play it with the keyboard and mouse. So this is only $3, 85% off. Next is a newer game, I would say. This is Desperados 3. So Desperados 3 is made by the same people who recently released Shadow Gambit, and previously they had done Shadow Tactics, Blades of the Shogun. So these are isometric stealth style game where you have to sneak around, and they're very good looking games, very beautiful. This one has of course the Wild West setting, I guess, and for the price it's excellent game, $1249, 75% off. Next is a favorite of mine. This is Darksiders Genesis. So unlike the previous Darksiders game, this one was in the sort of ARPG style, like sort of Diablo style game, and you are playing as two of the horsemen. Forgot what they were called, and you can switch between them. You can also play in co-op, and again this is very fun, very colorful and enjoyable game, and I really liked it. So $749 for this. Next is another ARPG style game, another one of my favorites, Titan Quest Anniversary Edition. I think a lot of you are probably tired of hearing me mention this game. Why is this in blue? Okay, so this is still a really decent game, and of course after such a long time we have heard that they are making a sequel to this second game, and that is also like we have no idea when it's coming out. They only teased a small trailer basically, so a few years down the line maybe, but at least we are getting something. So this is basically a Diablo style ARPG again, but with an ancient Greek setting. The community has been constantly updating and improving the game from the original 2006 version. Still holds up graphically in my opinion, and control wise it's also pretty standard. They also released a few DLCs, expansions basically after the base game, even up until recently. Like they dropped a couple very recently, like last few years. And also they ported this game to mobile, so you can even play this on mobile. I even made a review for this on mobile. So really good game, and still very affordable, 75% off for $99. Next is Ori and the Blind Forest, and I did not realize that Xbox games or Microsoft games were on GOG. This is the first time I've seen this. I don't know if they have recently added this or if it was here all along. So yeah, Ori and the Blind Forest, the definitive edition, is here on GOG for $5. Of course, DRM free, so you don't have to connect to the Xbox launcher or Xbox sign into your Xbox account or something. Yeah, it seems to be published by THQ Nordic, which is a little bit surprising to me because, like I said, I did not know that Xbox games were here. So it's probably not here, but this game seems to be published by THQ for GOG. I did not have any idea this was a thing. Next, we have Biomutant. So this is another game that came out not too long ago and surprisingly went quiet after release. Like there was a lot of hype when it first got announced, and I've been interested in getting this, but I've always seen mixed reviews for this and not a big enough sale, so I've hesitated. This is an open world game. A lot of people who have played this, they said this is a very nice relaxing game, very interesting open world, colorful and stuff like that. You are playing like a mutated squirrel or something. And yeah, so I've always wanted this game, but I haven't seen it on great sales so far. And of course, I need to check the latest reviews to see where it is in terms of performance and other things. But yeah, this is something if you want to consider is available on a 60% sale. Next is ELEX. So ELEX is a third-person RPG made by Piranha Bytes. These are the people who made the Risen games. So there is a bit of Eurojank, as they say, with these games, but I found it to be quite interesting. A lot of dialogue, a lot of different style of gameplay. You have different factions and you can align yourself with them, and basically the gameplay will be completely different. So for example, there's one faction that hates technology. So if you take out something fancy, electronics or something, they get mad at you. So it's quite flexible, and also there was like a small jetpack on the back of your character, which was like a nice interesting mechanic. It wasn't one of those very good fly around anywhere you want. It was more like sort of Valkyrie from Apex Legends, where you just use the jetpack and get high ground a little bit here and there during fights, and it seemed like an interesting mechanic. So 75% off for this one, $749. Next is an indie game. So we have What Remains of Edith Finch. So I think this is more like a mystery game or something. I keep mixing these games up, like What Remains of Edith Finch. There's one where this boy goes missing and stuff like that. So I keep mixing them up. I haven't played this one, but this is 75% off, $499. I'm not sure, but I think this was also given away by Epic. Next is one of my favorite games. This is Graveyard Keeper. So Graveyard Keeper is basically like Stardew Valley, but instead of a farm, you're managing a graveyard. There is a small farm as well that you manage, but basically you are a mysterious stranger who suddenly finds himself in a medieval village, and everybody sort of recognizes you as the new graveyard keeper. So you get to work, you have a small house, you have a church to maintain, upgrade, take care of all the corpses coming in, bury them, make the tombstones and things like that, and then upgrade. Initially you put like wooden crosses on them, and then once you upgrade things, you can put like fancy marble ones and things like that. So, and there's an interesting story. There are interesting characters around the village that you interact with. Everybody has a sort of mysterious past. The whole thing is a little bit unusual. There's something happening in the village. I won't spoil it, but basically if you play, you will enjoy this. I found this a lot more interesting than Stardew Valley. It's got a bit of humor as well, dark humor, let's say. For example, you can just dump the bodies in the river if you don't have any space. So $6.99 for this one. There are a couple of DLCs for this as well. Not couple, I think there's three DLCs. They don't seem to be on sale, so just get the base game. Base game will give you plenty of content. It took me like 50 hours or something to finish the base game, and the DLCs give you like another 10 hours each. Another farming type game. This is My Time at Portia, so 80% off for this one, $5.99. I think I'm pretty certain this was given on Epic, but again, a more third-person style farming sim. There's a second game as well. I think My Time at something else, some other place, Sandrock or something like that. So this is the first game, $5.99, 80% off. And then finally we have Vaporum. So Vaporum is a first-person dungeon crawler style game. So basically this is a game where I think you can play just with the keyboard if you wanted. You move sort of one square at a time, like a grid. And this one has a mysterious story where you are just someone who discovers a mysterious tower. You go inside. It's got a steampunk feel to it. I bought this game early this year and played it on Steam, and I found it to be very interesting because this is a style of game I had not played much. So yeah, this is our final game for today. Now keep in mind, a lot of these games are ending in 14 hours, so if you are interested in any of these, pick them up today, and some of them will last a little longer. So Dragon's Dogma will be 14 hours, Fear is 2 days and 14 hours, Fear 2, this one is 14. A lot of them, I think most of the THQ Nordic games are ending in 14 hours, so we'll have more tomorrow, I guess. Yeah, so a lot of these games are from THQ Nordic. Well, this one is not, but this is ending tomorrow. So yeah, have a look, pick up whatever you find interesting, and let me know what you think. Thank you for watching. See you next time.